A small cabin that always smelled like tea by Renegade X. Deep in a quiet forest stood a small wooden cabin. Tall pine trees surrounded it, their branches swaying softly in the wind. A narrow dirt path led to the front door, though it looked like very few people used it. Moss grew along the edges of the roof, and a small chimney leaned gently to one side. But anyone who walked close to the cabin noticed something right away. It always smelled like tea. Not just one kind of tea, but many soft and comforting scents mixed together. Sometimes it smelled like warm honey and herbs. Other times, it smelled like sweet flowers or fresh leaves after rain. The cabin door was almost always closed, but the scent drifted out through the small windows and into the forest. Travelers passing through the woods often paused when they smelled it. It made them feel calm without knowing why. Inside the cabin, the air was warm and peaceful. Wooden shelves lined the walls, each filled with small jars of dried leaves, herbs, and flowers. Some jars were labeled in neat handwriting. Others had faded labels that were hard to read. In the center of the room sat a small table with a teapot resting on top. Steam rose slowly from the spout. An old kettle sat on a quiet stove, humming softly as it warmed the water. The gentle sound filled the room like a quiet song. The person who lived in the cabin moved slowly and carefully. They never rushed. Every morning, they stepped outside to gather fresh herbs from the small garden beside the cabin. Mint, lavender, and other plants grew in neat rows, their leaves shining with morning dew. The forest seemed to enjoy the peaceful routine. Birds often perched on the cabin roof. A curious deer sometimes wandered close to the garden. Even the wind slowed down as it moved through the trees nearby. The cabin welcomed anyone who had happened to find it. If a traveler knocked on the door, they were always invited inside. A warm cup of tea would soon appear in their hands. Most visitors arrived tired from walking through the forest. Some had been traveling for days. Others simply needed a quiet place to rest. They would sit by the table while the soft smell of tea filled the air. With each sip, their shoulders relaxed a little more. The tea was never exactly the same. Some days it tasted light and sweet. Other days it carried a gentle warmth that spread slowly through the body. But it always brought the same feeling: peace. Outside the cabin, the forest continued its quiet life. Leaves rustled gently. Sunlight filtered through the tall trees. Time moved slowly in that peaceful place. When travelers finally stood to leave, they often felt lighter than when they arrived. They would step back onto the narrow path and look once more at the small cabin behind them. And as they walked away through the forest, The soft smell of tea followed them for just a little while longer, like a warm memory drifting through the trees.